So if you saw the last episode and you have been dying in anticipation for what this episode is going to be, well, fear not, because it is here. Woohoo! And if you haven't seen the last episode, maybe go check it out. There's a card on screen now to link you right to it. And that's just to give you a tiny bit of background information on this episode. And yeah, for the one person that hasn't read the title yet, we are going to be talking about Hello There versus The High Ground, which is better and what they each mean. And so I'm going to try and go into depth about each of them on today's episode of Star Wars Nerds and Geeks. So if you don't know what I'm talking about or why I'm talking about Hello There and this high ground thing, well, I'll give you a really quick rundown of what's going on. So, the high ground and Hello There, they're both kind of memes in the prequel Star Wars community, and these all originate from the movie Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith from Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's the scene where Obi-Wan says hello there to General Grievous, and then there's a scene where Obi-Wan has the high ground over Anakin, and he says, "It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground." And then Anakin says, "You underestimate my power," and Obi-Wan says, "Don't try it," and then Anakin does try it, and it doesn't end well for him. So Hello There and High Ground, that's what they are, and if you don't understand why they are being memed, that's okay. Just know that they are being memed. It's kind of hard to explain what Hello There and High Ground really are and what they truly mean. So if you do know what they truly mean, then maybe go down in the comments and explain it better than I have. And if you don't know what they mean, you could look in the comments, see if somebody has explained it better than I. But hopefully that's enough for you, and let's start off with the analysis. So, I'm going to be talking first about the analysis of each of these concept things, and then I'm going to be pitting them against each other, seeing which is better. So first we start off with the high ground. How do you describe the high ground? It's both a simple thing and a very, very complicated thing to explain. So the high ground, in the literal definition of it, is that you're, gosh, I really want to say Y level, but that just means I've been playing too much Minecraft. That your height, your elevation, is greater than somebody else's. You have the high ground over them when you are higher up than they are physically. And we're talking all physically right here. So if you are, if your friend is sitting on the floor and you are standing on a chair, you have the high ground over your friend. I don't know. You guys didn't need to hear the definition of that, did you? Everyone already knew that. Moving on. So the high ground actually is a concept that has been used in lots of warfare. Having the high ground over your opponent in war is a very good thing. And one thing that comes to my mind is the American Civil War with the high ground, and that whatever side had the high ground generally won that battle. And if one side had the high ground, at the very least, they would inflict more casualties on the other side, even if they ended up losing. So the high ground is a very powerful position, and it's powerful because multiple things. First off, let's just talk about aiming. If you're shooting somebody with a gun, it's easier to be pointing down than it is to be pointing up. It's easier to be looking down than it is to be looking up. And it's easier to be walking down than it is to be walking up. And if you have the high ground, you're forcing people to come to you. So you have so much power just by holding the high ground. So with the high ground, somebody can have lots of power and Yeah, they have lots of power and they have a strong strategic position with the high ground. So then let's talk about what else the high ground means. Well, the high ground can also mean, we were talking all physical, but it could also mean a mental, emotional, social, etc. Having the higher ground over somebody, just meaning that you are more elevated than them. Like, I suppose you could say a queen has the high ground over a peasant, or a Albert Einstein has the mental high ground over a kindergartner. Stuff like that, where it's more not necessarily a physical thing, but more a imaginary high ground that you just have to envision. So that is essentially the high ground. Now let's talk about how it's being used in Star Wars, like when it happens. So the main time, not the like important high ground that everybody talks about is the high ground between that Obi-Wan had over Anakin during their duel on Mustafar. How do I say that? I think I'm gonna call it Mustafar for now, but I always vary it, so apologies. But Obi-Wan has the high ground over Anakin on Mustafar, and he wins this battle mostly because of that high ground. You see, Anakin tries to take the high ground over Obi-Wan by jumping over Obi-Wan's head, but Obi-Wan is the master of the high ground, as we all know, so he ended up cutting all of Anakin's limbs off. And yeah, so in this situation, Obi-Wan had the high ground over Anakin, which led to Obi-Wan's victory for multiple reasons. First, by having the better position, he kind of freaked Anakin out and made him act rashly. Second, by having a higher position than Anakin had to jump up to meet him, and so he exerted a lot of energy trying to get up to Obi-Wan, took a lot of energy, took a lot of focus, and Obi-Wan just sat there, so Anakin spending more energy than Obi-Wan is to as they meet. So now Obi-Wan has the advantage over Anakin and is able to use that to turn the tides and win that battle. So without the high ground, these two would have forever been fighting, there would have never been a victor, or Anakin might have even won. But because Obi-Wan had the high ground, he won. So now let's talk about hello there. What is hello there? It's a word, it's two words actually. Hello there. Two words that have shown up many, many times. If you've seen the video that I linked that I put a card on the screen at the beginning of the video, if you've seen that video, you'll see so many instances where hello there has been used. I'm going to use the word invoked. So many people have invoked hello there. Obi-Wan has, Grievous has, and many, many other people have used the famous phrase hello there. Those are just some of the main ones that I could think of. So hello there. It's two words. It's a greeting. It's a sentence, but it's also so much more than that. See, hello there. When you invoke hello there, it's calling multiple things. First off, when you say hello there, you announce your presence to everybody. So you're telling everybody, hey, here I am. When you say hello there. And why not say, you might be asking, why not say something other than hello there? Why not say hi or what's up, dog? Well, hello there is special in which when you're saying hello there, you are directly talking to somebody. When you say hi, it's ambiguous hi. You can be saying it to anybody. The only way you can be directing it at somebody is if you say, "Hi, Jacob," or "Hi, Sophia." But if you say, "Hello there," you are already directing it at somebody without actually telling who you're directing it at. So therefore, you kind of have a slight power advantage because nobody knows who you're saying hello there to. They can assume, but nobody knows. But you are saying it to somebody. You aren't saying the vague hello there. You are specifically targeting someone out and saying hello there. And if somebody figures out that you're targeting them by saying hello there, they might get a little worried, like, wait, why is this person calling me out? And it's more subtle because you're not calling them out by name, you're just calling them out by saying hello there. So it's a little unsettling because they aren't being called out directly, but it's also very subtle because, again, you aren't calling them out directly, you're kind of hiding who you're saying it to, but the person that you're saying it to will get a tiny bit nervous and will wonder, this person's calling me out. What are they calling me out for? What did I do? What do I have to do? And then, what else does hello there do? Hello there shows your confidence. As we see Obi-Wan do, he jumps in the middle of an army of battle droids, calls out Grievous and says, "Hello there." Grievous gets nervous because he's like, wait, he's calling me. He said hello there to me, but he didn't say hello, Grievous. He said hello there. As in, it's vague, it's not vague, but it's directly at Grievous, but it's not calling him out by name. So now Grievous is a little worried. Well, why did he call me out? And he turns around, and hey, it's Obi-Wan, it's General Kenobi. He is a bold one. And why is General Kenobi a bold one? Well, because he invoked hello there. Not only does hello there scare somebody by calling them out without actually calling them out, but it's also a move of confidence, as I said like a minute earlier. It's confidence because in that situation, Obi-Wan had the advantage over Grievous by sneaking up on him, but he showed his confidence by jumping in the middle of the army and just saying, "Hello there. Hey everybody, I'm here. Look at me." He's telling the entire droid army and Grievous that he's not afraid, that he knows he can take all of them on, and he's challenging Grievous to make Obi-Wan prove it. So, yes, it's showing Obi-Wan Kenobi, or it's just showing your confidence when you say hello there, because you're inviting everybody to know of your presence. And generally, you want to be kind of sneaky, and the more sneaky you are, the less people know about you, and the more power and the better position you have. But by saying hello there, you're erasing all of that to show your confidence, which definitely spooks out the opponent. And if you can spook out your opponent, you have an advantage. And so earlier I had said that it was a challenge to Grievous to meet Obi-Wan Kenobi's boast that he could take on everyone. So now Grievous has a choice. He can either act cowardly and tell his armies to attack Obi-Wan, which is kind of what Obi-Wan's challenging him to do, or he can act brave and face Obi-Wan head on, but it doesn't really matter which one he does, because if he calls the droid army to attack Obi-Wan, he's meeting Obi-Wan's challenge, but he's also acting like a coward. However, if he attacks Obi-Wan head on, he is rejecting Obi-Wan's challenge and saying that he is equal to the power and that he doesn't need the rest of the army to take on Obi-Wan. So although there's like a boast, it's a gambit, it's telling your opponent to do one to do multiple things. You can telling your opponent that you can either attack me or you can have other people attack me, but in the end it won't matter because I'm better than you. So hello there is a very in the end it's kind of a boastful, bragful thing to do that inspires confidence in yourself and it diminishes the confidence in your opponent. And that is a very, very good thing to do if you're trying to face them in battle. So now we have discussed what both the high ground and hello there are. So now the question is, which one do you do? Do you hello there or do you get the high ground? Which one is better? If somebody has the high ground and someone invokes hello there, who would win? Those are very good questions, which I'm hopefully going to be able to answer. First, which one should you do? Should you hello there or should you high ground? Honestly, this is a matter of how confident you feel. You see, Obi-Wan, at the beginning of episode 3, was very confident. He knew that he could take on Grievous, even with his entire droid army there. He knew he could take on Grievous. And so he had the high ground, but he gave it up to invoke hello there. And so that's hello there in that situation was a lot better because Obi-Wan had the confidence. If you have the confidence, you should do hello there because it will, if you have the confidence, again, it will work much better than the high ground. The high ground will consistently work at the same, it's consistent. It will always be as good as it is. Hello there, on the other hand, will be really, really strong and good, much better than the high ground, if you have the confidence and are able to pull it off. However, it will be absolutely garbage compared to the high ground. If you don't have that confidence, it'll be completely terrible to use hello there if you don't have the confidence. In fact, if you use hello there and you don't have confidence, that could actually lead to it being worse for you and better for your opponent because your opponent goes, well, they tried to invoke hello there, but they obviously aren't ready for it, so they must not be that experienced. I can take this. So you want to invoke hello there once you are confident, just like Obi-Wan did when he was facing Grievous. He knew he was confident, so he gave up the high ground to invoke hello there, relying on his confidence to outperform the high ground in that situation. Later in the movie, we see Anakin and Obi-Wan facing off again, and then Obi-Wan took the high ground, and at this point, Obi-Wan did not have the confidence against Anakin. He knew that he could not, he knew he didn't have the confidence, so therefore hello there would backfire against him. So he kept a consistent high ground and ended up beating Anakin by using the high ground. If he had the confidence in that situation, a hello there may have been better. However, since he did not have the confidence, the consistency of the high ground was best. So hopefully I've built a chart showing you what I mean by consistency of the high ground and whatnot. And I'll show it up here again if I have made it. So you can see that the high ground, no matter how confident you are, will always be as strong as it is. Whereas hello there will work really badly if you don't have the confidence, but then work really well if you do have the confidence. So all depends on just how confident you are. That's when you should use hello there, is when you're very, very confident. Also, hello there is a greeting. Usually you don't want to hello there in the middle of a battle. It's generally not the best thing to do. See, when you hello there as an introduction, you come as powerful and as powerful and intimidating and confident and super strong. But if you hello there in the middle of a battle at a totally random time, then you'll just seem arrogant, you'll seem very inexperienced, and it'll just be laughable. So timing with hello there is everything. Hello there is a very, very complicated thing to use. Sure, you can use it in the middle of a battle, but you have to use it at the right time. Maybe if you had like a slight break from battle, you could hello there the opponent to catch them off guard. But generally, you will want to do it at the beginning of the battle. And again, hello there, all it is timing and confidence. If you don't have the timing and you don't have the confidence, completely ruin you. So unless you know you can get the timing down, you know you can have the confidence, you should always high ground. Hello there may be better than the high ground in most situations, but it's better to high ground unless you know you can hello there. So now hello there versus high ground. How am I going to do this? 3 different categories. Or actually 2, sorry. I was thinking beginning, middle, and end of fight, but then I realized it would just be the beginning and end of a fight, most likely. So hello there versus high ground. I'm going to assume that we are using 2 equivalent people, and that they're both in the exact situation, they're both exact amount of confidence, etc., exact skill. They're essentially the exact same person. So these 2 people are facing off, and one is going to invoke hello there, and one is going to invoke high ground. Who would win? First scenario is at the beginning of the battle. If both of them were at the high ground, or therefore they both were at equal ground, but they were at a high ground while being on equal ground. Does that make sense? I hope so. If they were to be at equal ground at a higher ground, and somebody were to give up the high ground to hello there, they would end up winning that fight. Because while they let the other person have the high ground, the first person that hello there will have the confidence, and they will have intimidated their opponent, and they will end up winning that battle. On the other hand, if one person was at a lower ground and one person was at a high ground, and the lower ground person said hello there at the beginning of the battle, actually yet again, the hello there would win, because hello there is a challenge. Hello there completely counters the high ground because it is a challenge. Hello there calls somebody out and it challenges them to face you. The reason the high ground is so good is because it forces your opponent to get to your ground to face you. So by having the high ground, you have a massive advantage. But if somebody uses hello there, they're challenging you to lose the high ground and face them, so thereby just completely undermining the power of the high ground. So hello there would just completely destroy the high ground in this situation. Next, the end of battle. If you're both on equal ground and somebody gets to a lower ground and hello there's, they do this at the right time, they might win. This one's a lot closer because it's at the end of a battle, and it's a much more awkward time, so it's hard to find the right time to hello there. But if they can find the right time, there's a slight chance they'll win. Otherwise, more than likely the high ground person would win, because they've already been in a fight. You can't really goad them anymore. You can't really show your confidence as much anymore. So therefore, just by having the high ground, the other person would beat the hello there, because the hello there person won't be able to time it right. On the other hand, and one more thing, the other person who has the high ground would think, wow, that's so foolish that the other person gave up the high ground just to say hello there. That they would laugh at that. But now on to the next one. Someone's on the high ground and the other person's at a lower ground. And the person at the lower ground says hello there. Who would win is at the end of the battle. Again, timing is everything. If they don't do this at the right time, most likely their opponent would win. However, if they did do this at the right time, the person who helloed there would more than likely win, because they didn't give up the high ground. So they didn't show the weakness of giving up the high ground, or the potential showing of weakness of giving up the high ground. Instead, they just stayed where they were and said hello there. And if they did it right and they did it at the right time, it would end up working on the opponent and showing how the hello there person is still very confident, how they still think they can win, and therefore the high ground person would end up losing that fight. Very interesting, huh? I want to ask you, though, to put in the comments who you think would win in each of these situations. At the beginning of the battle, who would win, the hello there or the high ground? And at the end of the battle, who would win, hello there or high ground? I'd be interested in knowing what you think. But to sum everything up, high ground is consistent. Hello there is much better than high ground, but only if you do it right. And, of course, I don't think I've mentioned this, but you cannot hello there in high ground. We've seen this multiple times. The only time you can invoke hello there is if you are at equal ground or lower ground than your opponent. You can never be at the high ground and hello there your opponent. You just can't do that. It just doesn't work. I've never done it. I'm not that stupid, but I would bet that if you were to hello there on the high ground, you would not only lose your hello there power, but you would probably also lose your high ground power and end up giving your opponent the better position, giving your opponent all the power. So do not ever hello there while on the high ground. That was a weird video, wasn't it? Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was an entertaining video that you all liked. I hope you liked it. But it kind of felt weird. And, I'm into the memes of Star Wars, so I kind of understand this. But I wonder what it was like watching this video and not understanding the memes and not understanding why everyone likes the high ground and hello there and what they're all about. This would be a really, really strange episode to watch, wouldn't it? Yeah, very, very interesting. So that's how to use hello there and high ground, and that's which is better, hello there or high ground, and it's all dependent on your position and your power and your confidence and your timing. I mean, hello there is very complicated to use, but when used right, it's very powerful. And so, hello there. This is Star Wars Nerds and Geeks signing off. See you all next time.